Hola clase! We're running out of time, so I figured the best way to get out the numbers vocabulary from 100 to 1000 would just be to give you the list. But of course, since on your test it's going to be a listening comprehension where you'll have numbers in front of you and I'll be reading some numbers and you have to pick out which one I'm reading, you need to know what they sound like. So here we go. Los números 100 a 1000. Este número. You guys know this one actually from last year. 100. We're going to continue by the hundreds though. You should already know your tens, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Hopefully. Here we go. 100, 200. Es 200. Kind of makes sense. 100 is 100, dos is 2, and we know that anything over 100, you had that to on the end of ciento, like 101, 102. So we're making that plural with the dos, and it's 200, 200. 300. Es 300. 400. So far this seems pretty easy, right? 500 though, as far as the spelling, and they changed it up a little bit. 500. 500 is how you say 500. Remember that QUI sounds like ki, like when we used quiere. 500. 600. Okay, now we're back to the logical stuff. 600. 7 changes it up just a little bit. 700. It's like we got rid of the I in siete, so it's 700. But that also happened with 70, if you remember. 70. So just remember that. 800. 800. 9, again, does kind of like what happened with 90. 900. Instead of a UE like nueve, it has an O, 900. And finally, 1000. Now generally, you don't have to use un all that much, but if you're just saying 1000, 1000, if it's in front of other numbers like 1001, 1002, you can just use mil. Notice here that where we in the United States put a comma for 1000, a decimal is used in Spain and Latin America. The reverse is also true. What I mean by that is where we would put a decimal point is where they would put a comma. So that's why when you see thousands written, you have the decimal point there. Beyond 1000, it's pretty simple. You're just counting 2000, 3000, 4000. You can go all the way up to, 900,000 for 900,000. When you put numbers after the 1000, again, you don't have to use the word un. So for example, 1492 would be said 1492. And by the way, that's good to know because the years in Spanish are given as entire numbers. They don't abbreviate like we do and say 1971. To say that, you would have to say 1971 for the year. So it's good to know your thousands because then you can give dates for things, you can give years.